We have your king of the new format. Now make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oscar. I'm still processing through all of the tournament data for Kongs. I'll probably tear through and do top cut for you guys tomorrow. I just got done doing feature matches, and we have been working on top 32 deck list all night, getting them put into Dueling Book for visualization purposes. So I want to talk about what actually happened through the tournament here while we're still working in the background, because I think that this is important. So Radiant Typhoon and Radiant Typhoon ended up making it in to the grand finals. It was a Radiant Typhoon mirror match in the finals. Now, before you're going to sit here and you're going to be like, well, you know, isn't Radiant Typhoon, you know, not supposed to be one of the best decks? Yes, it is. One of the cool things about Radiant Typhoon is Sheena. Sheena, the Storm Deity Twins, was one of the most impactful cards that I got to watch out of the weekend, because you can use the Sheena offensively and defensively to be able to reset your resources and to actually keep the fields clear and actually work to your advantage on some extreme chain links to either keep the mandate off of the field or to keep monster presence off of the field. I actually do think, after kind of looking at this weekend, that the Storm Deities is going to be one of the most impactful cards. So, guys, you can go over to Kongs and use discount code MCO40 and pick up some of the new Radiant Typhoon cards that you're going to need if you are going to want the opportunity to play with the new stuff. Because, trust me, having watched that Link 2 do some extremely broken things was absolutely wonderful. So the Storm Deities put in a lot of work. I also got to say, watching the amount of skill that was actually going on between the matchups, and also watching Radiant Typhoon being able to stack up 1, 2, 3 chain links, being able to, you know, detour and do special treatment with the way that it triggers its effects. I will say that I feel like this is going to be a pretty skill-based format. Just watching the Radiant Typhoon stuff interacting. Now, Fallen and Virtuous is also going to be a problematic card, I feel like, going into this format. I don't think a lot of people are going to be prepared for, you know, every sort of deck underneath the sun trying to play Fallen and Virtuous. Fallen and Virtuous being a pop that is going to be rotating in between turns is going to be a little bit of a problematic card that, once again, I don't think people are going to realize. It's also crazy to think about that a card like Fallen and Virtuous is getting that much power. I've seen so many Fallen and Virtuouses resolving over the weekend that I can tell you that I think that card's going to be a problem. It also comes down to the argument of, do we play Pot of Extrav or do we not play Pot of Extrav in Radiant Typhoon? Because somebody's going to bring up the argument. They're going to be like, well, you know, what if we're playing, you know, Fallen and Virtuous in, you know, with Extrav, then doesn't that mean that we're just hurting ourselves? No. One of the things that I can safely say after watching the first place duelist resolving and, you know, constructing the way that they were choosing to play. One, you play very much in your draw phase with Radiant Typhoon. You can do a lot of searching. You can do the Visions draw power long before you Extrav at the beginning of main phase 1. And that's something that's going to be hard for players to kind of realize. Because over the week, I saw a lot of like slip ups, you know, effects that can only be activated at the beginning of main phase 1, or effects that can only be activated in main phase. You can't apply during the draw phase, where a deck like Radiant Typhoon is trying to hide and is trying to build these end boards. That was one of the most impactful things that I saw all the weekend. And, you know, Crocia's being able to trigger during either player's turn. For example, in the mirror match, you know, your opponent activates a quick play. You know, now your Crocia, your opponent's Crocia can both trigger. And now you're kind of opening up, you know, this little door for multi-dimensional play lines to be able to come in and interact. And that was a very, very critically important part of this tournament as well, was, you know, knowing when your Crocea needs to go. Also, Ghost Bell was a powerhouse this weekend. Watching Ghost Bell being able to cut off certain interactions was phenomenal. I think that really, really saved a lot of things. Seeing the Harvest Ginger, the end-board piece for Radiant Typhoon, kind of being a good chunk of the end boards was kind of strong. It's just, it in situations where there's like 14, 15 cards in the graveyard, it didn't matter. But I will say, watching Harvest Ginger controlling Mitsurugi and watching the pieces kind of rotating in and out of the graveyard because of the bird was very, very nice and very, very strong. There's also the argument, do you want to play the Fortune Tune or do you not want to play the Fortune Tune in the deck? It also comes down to, you know, how much dedication are you having to Fallen and Virtuous? You know, are you going with triple Albion and a copy of the Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon? Or are you going with triple Albion and the Dark Dragon? But this is also going to depend on the pot of avarice, or excuse me, the pot of extravagance question. You know, do you want to extrav or do you not want to extrav? There's also the question on, was Tenki a piece that you wanted to dedicate into the list? Because Tenki acts as an additional MST fodder depending on, you know, how you wanted to go. And also, you know, do you want to play Crowns or do you want to play Droplets? The OCG did a lot of work with Crown. I think Crown was probably one of the most impactful pieces that we had seen on, you know, their early side of the game setting up. But Featherstorm in this deck, I think, would have been too much for the TCG to deal with. And right now, I mean, it just came off of a first and second. Now, for the rest of the tournament, Vanquishal was a competitor. Vanquishal made its way to top 4. I am actually not surprised to say that Shifter kind of felt pretty low impact, honestly. You know, you look at Shifter and you're like, oh, this card's very good, but like, Radiant Typhoon, from most of what I saw, felt like they never gave a single crap about any time that they got shifted. I feel like it was just like, oh, okay, you're shiftering me? I mean, sure, I guess. And then you'd watch the deck just kind of play around whatever else it was trying to do. So I saw some good shifters, but like against Radiant Typhoon, Shifter just never really felt like it was the I'm going to win the game sort of card. It was just, it was a piece that came up that looked like it was very good. And there was also the Odotic Mitsurugi pile that came up. Now, I'm going to have to go way more in depth with this pile later, because watching the Odotic stuff, watching Daybreak resolve, watching the Planet Pollutant Virus and the Cosmic Zolor floodgating the opponent, Scorpion built one of the craziest pile variants that I had actually seen for a tournament to date. Honestly, kudos for them, because I think they were the only successful Mitsurugi pile out of the whole tournament. And it put a smile on my face watching some of this. I'll try to get up some of the feature matches for that later today, so you guys can actually watch the 60 card pile actually unfold, because God, it was a creature to watch actually play. There were yummy variants. Malice was also present. I think Malice got 2 spots in top 16, so I can't confidently say that Malice has, exited the building just yet. I don't think Yummy has exited the building either. I think we're going to see some innovation in time to kind of come through this. I mean, seeing, nearly 200 duelists shaping up to try to play this format and see how excited that people were to play this. And also to answer the question, where did Dracotail at, though? Dracotail, we'll have to talk more about that later. I'm a little bit interested to see Dracotail's current stance on the meta versus Radiant Typhoon, because Radiant Typhoon just feels like a way better deck after looking at these results. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll try to process this info. I just came off being constipated for 2 weeks. I've been in pain. I finally I cleared my system a little bit ago, so I'm feeling a little bit better. So I'm trying to get everything that I can together for you guys this morning. But please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.